What's up, Amazon sellers? If you are thinking about getting some repricing software, maybe looking into a repricer, you have come to the right video. Today, I'm going to talk about what is a repricer. I'm going to share what the different repricers are, and I'm also going to let you into which ones do Fast Track FBA users use and which ones do I use. And they're not the same. So stay tuned. If you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and I have been selling on Amazon now as an arbitrage seller for about 4 years. I'm on a mission to do £1 million by the end of 2021, and I'll drop a link up there. Have a look at that, it's going to explain everything. Okay, so today, what am I going to go through? Quite simply, we're going to go through what is a repricer and what do you need to know. Number 2, I'm going to go through a free repricer and we'll talk about that. Number 3, I will go through other different repricers that you can pay for, and obviously some pros and cons about both of them, or all of them, should we say. I will also share some top tips about repricers and some information that you'll want to know. And then finally, number 5, I'll let you into which repricer do I use and which one do Fast Track FBA users use. And as you already know, they are not the same. So I will share why they might not be. So stay tuned. Okay, so number 1, what is repricing software? Well, quite simply, it does what it says on the tin. It changes your prices of your products within Amazon. Now you might be asking, why do I want my prices in Amazon to change? Well, quite simply, there is something called the buy box. Now, when you are selling on Amazon and there are multiple sellers on one listing, i.e. selling the same product, a customer comes in and buys that product. Obviously, all of them can't sell the same product at the same time. Only one seller can actually sell the product. So who chooses or who gets to make that sale? That is whoever controls the buy box. And generally speaking, the biggest impact on buy box control is generally price. And a repricer will change that price up and down to help support you in getting control of that buy box or keeping you close to it, depending on how you want it to do. So fundamentally, a repricing software changes your price. Why? To help you get close to or control the buy box, which allows you to increase your sales and obviously make more profits. So one question you might be asking is, how do repricers work? Well, actually, they're quite intelligent bits of software. You set the rules and they can be on many different categories or many different things or data points. Quite simply, it can just be the competitor's price, but you might have a different rule for a competitor when they're an FBA seller, or you might have a different rule for when they're an FBM seller, or you might have a rule based on some other factors, and it could be around sales velocity, it could be around profits. You can have minimum and maximum pricing that you don't go below or above, and you want to control that. You can do lots and lots of different things, and a repricer will allow you to do this. Now, generally speaking, when you've got 1 or 2 products, a repricer probably isn't going to help you too much because you could do it manually. But when might you want to use a repricer? Well, when you're starting to get a lot of stock, a lot of different products in your inventory, and there is no definition of at a certain number of SKUs you want to have a repricer. It's solely down to you and your time available. I know people who will have a repricer at 10, maybe 20 SKUs, but I also know people who won't have a repricer even up to 300 to 500 SKUs. It's very depending on you and what you want. Now, you might ask, what can a repricer do and when should I use it? Well, quite simply, a repricer is really powerful. Not only will it help control the buy box, but it can also, when used correctly, allow you to increase sales of a product. Why? You can decrease the price. As a result of the price going down, we generally see demand goes up. That's going to increase sales, and it allows you to do lots of other really cool things once you start getting into the detail of it and really understanding how Amazon works. But fundamentally, what does a repricer do? It changes your price to allow you to control the buy box. It's going to help you make more sales. So the question you might be asking me is, Tom, repricers sound good, but I'm interested in this free repricer. I'm trying to keep my costs low. What is this free repricer? And don't worry, I will talk about it now. Number 2, free repricer. And what is it? It's Amazon's built-in own repricer. Now you might be like, wow, this is amazing. Amazon provides its own repricer. And of course, what does Amazon want? It wants you to make sales. It wants to ensure that you are selling as many units as possible. Of course it does, because when you make a sale, Amazon makes money as well. But there are some caveats to that. The repricer, the free Amazon repricer, is really good, but there's a lot of situations that you probably wouldn't want to use it. So let's go into that now and let's explain and understand a bit more about this free repricer. Okay, so quite simply, what is the Amazon free repricer? Well, what is it going to do? It's going to basically look at your selling price and it's going to adjust that to make sure that you're competitive on the buy box, getting you into that buy box at all times. Can be quite useful for beginners to see how a repricer works without having to pay for one. But the one thing which should just kind of be mindful of is not particularly good for long-term success. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, Amazon's interested in getting you in the buy box and getting you selling. Great. But it's also interested in other people getting in the buy box and selling at the same time. So what is it going to do? It's going to continually bring the price down to help support you in getting sales. What does that mean? It means that two prices are going to go down, 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 down. And it can mean you're in a price war, or should we say penny underpricing, a lot of these words that are coming out, that basically just means your price goes down. Now, when your price goes down, yes, your sales are going to go up, but also as well, you're not making as much profit. And at the end of the day, while we enjoy sales, revenue is nice, we want profit, and it's the profit in our business that we're looking for. So the big issue you've got with the Amazon repricer is it will bring your pricing down, doesn't push it up as well as you might want it to, and it doesn't support you in maximizing your profits. Why might you look at, should we say, what are the other issues around the Amazon repricer? It will certainly change your price relative to the competition, but you can't set that depending on the competition's fulfillment options. Now, if I give you an idea, if you are thinking about repricing against a competitor, if your competitor is FBM, fulfillment by merchant, you can generally, and your FBA by the way, you can generally price a little bit higher. Not always, but generally you can and still win the buy box, i.e. you can charge more money than them and still get the majority of the sales. Amazon's repricer doesn't allow you to adjust for this, it literally just does it on price. They're trying to bring that price down to increase sales volumes. Just be very, very mindful of that. But Amazon's repricer is a really good tool to get you started and maybe have a play with to see what is happening and to maybe test it on a few SKUs to see what you like. Okay, do stay to the end of this video because what I'm going to do is share with you the top repricers that we use and within Fast Track FBA, and I'll explain why they are different. Okay, so quite simply, we've talked about free ones, now let's talk about some paid ones. Now, quite simply, I could kind of go through and just talk about each little bit, but I'll kind of go through an overview of what you should expect from a paid one, and then we'll kind of go through maybe some highlights of each one that I'm going to look at. This repricer that I'll talk about now is Repricer Express. Now, quite simply, it does all the marketplaces. I think it probably has one of the most extensive marketplace. Obviously, it does the EU and the US. That's the one that you're looking for. Now, they all have, should we say, like no long-term contracts and really good support. I've spoken to Repricer Express many times. Now, the one thing which I personally like about Repricer Express, and should we say, I'll let you into a secret, it's the one that I use, is it's the fact that it has automations. Now, these are things whereby you can have rules, and all the repricers will have rules, i.e. rule-based scenario, that when you change, what automations allow you to do is based on certain situations. You can change from one rule to another. And that's really powerful because you can then start daisy chaining and moving between rules automatically, maybe when one rule isn't being cost effective and you need the other one to be. So I really like Repricer Express because of the automations, it makes such a difference. Okay, so now I'll talk about Repricer. Now this is, I think it's formerly Excelco. Now, interesting enough, they're the same people that actually bought Repricer Express. Now, the quite interesting thing that you want to know about this is the fact that this repricer not only does Amazon, it also does multiple other marketplaces. So by that we mean if you are selling on eBay, maybe lots of other marketplaces, maybe even other like Shopify stores, that is going to help you change your prices across multiple platforms at the same time to ensure that your prices maybe are consistent or that they're effective for that marketplace. So just be really mindful that if you are selling across multiple platforms, Repricer might actually be a good option for you because it has that connectivity across multiple marketplaces and allow you to control the price across all of them. So I'll talk about BeCool now, and quite simply, BeCool is another repricing software, and the interesting thing about BeCool is actually really cost effective. Now, I have personally used BeCool and I found it okay, but the one problem that I actually found about it was that you can reprice versus other competition, what they're doing, but you can't reprice versus just the buy box. Now, if I give you an idea, if you're looking at, so if you say FBA, if the competitor is FBA or FBM, sometimes I don't really care about that. I just want to know, I want to win that buy box. So Be Cool struggled with that, but they may have changed. Do speak to support. They're a good starting point, a very good cost-effective point, and I still know a lot of people today who really enjoy using it. So have a go with that, try that one. Maybe that's going to work for your business. Now, the final one, which I will talk about, is Profit Protector Pro. This is a recent tool that's come out probably in the last year, 2 years, I think it is. Not been around as long as the other ones. The one thing which I would say about this, and I will say I haven't used it, so I can't give you too much, but what I've read from other users is that it's really easy to use. It has really simple pricing strategies. And if I give you an idea, they have like the aggressive sales generator. So if you're like, I just want aggressive sales, you can change your strategy to that, and that's going to really make it easy for you to aggressively get sales. The other advantage to that, if you are a BuyBot Pro user, this is a sourcing calculator that allows you to check your pricing. It has an integration into that, which allows you, the moment you found a product on sourcing, you can immediately set your repricing rules or minimum maximum prices and the rule for it in the web browser, the Chrome web browser, when you are sourcing. It's going to allow you to set that right there and then. So just speeding up time, making it more efficient. A lot of people do use this and they speak very highly of it. Now, I did say Profit Protector Pro is the last one, but there's one final one which I'm going to throw in at the end. And quite simply, the reason why I'm throwing this in is because this one is in testing right now. So there's a bit of software that I use for my profit analysis. So this is kind of like making sure how much profit I make, called Seller Toolkit. Now, they are testing a repricer right now in Seller Toolkit, and it's had some quite positive reviews. So quite simply, this is integrated into your profit analysis software, and also as well inventory reconciliation and ensuring that you're getting any missing stock back from Amazon, and it's an all-in-one package. Now, what I will say is I've actually, the profit analysis side I've used, I really enjoy it, and I've heard some positive things about the repricer. So I do recommend checking that out, seeing what they've got. Seller Toolkit, that is. I'll drop a link down below to that, and obviously you can have a look at that as well. But I'll actually drop a link down below to all of these repricers so you can have a look at them. But there are 5 repricers, 4 currently available and 1 in testing right now, which people are using and all having positive results from. And obviously you can try the Amazon free repricer as well. Okay, so now what I just want to talk about is some top tips for you when you're thinking about a repricer. First things first, it kind of goes without reason. Just make sure that the repricer can sell in the marketplace you're selling on. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably going to be an EU or a USA seller. Every repricer will do that, but do just double check. There shouldn't be a reason why they don't. Number 2, I would also just have a look at the pricing. Obviously, it kind of stands to reason, but just make sure it's clear. Some repricers, a lot of the ones we talked about today, will be a fixed price for a certain number of SKUs, and they'll go up depending on the number of SKUs. There are other repricers out there which don't work on a SKU basis. They work on a number of sales units sold basis, and they take a percentage cut or a fee per unit sold. Just be very mindful of that. As soon as you increase your sales, your fees can increase quite dramatically. Then I would also recommend having a look at the functionality of the software. You know, we've talked about things like Profit Protector Pro, where it's built into the BuyBot Pro sourcing software. We've talked about Seller Toolkit, where it's in with the profit analysis software. Just make sure it's got the functionality you want. And I've even explained about how I had issues around Be Cool and how it couldn't reprice directly off the buy box, only off the sellers. So just be really mindful about, you know exactly what you want and go into asking these questions. I'd probably say one of my biggest top tips for repricing software is how good is the support. And I say this because when things are going wrong with your repricing software, you need to make sure that support is good, because you're going to have lots of questions. Why did my stock do this? Why did my price do that? Why is this sold at that price? Cost-effective or efficient support is going to be really good for you in understanding maybe why you set something up wrong, and can they support you in setting it up correctly to maximize your profits. So support is super key. Now, and the final top tip I would recommend to anyone when doing any repricing is, first of all, test it on a few products, set up a couple of rules, and then watch it. Watch what it does. You think you set your rule up one way, you think you know what the price should do. Is the repricer doing it? If it isn't, then get in contact with support, find out why, and change it to make it do what you want it to do. Otherwise, it could be losing you money rather than you making it. So just be very, very mindful. A couple of top tips there that are going to help you out in getting your repricer right. Okay, so final crunch time. The real question you're probably going to be asking is, there's a lot of repricers. Which one should I choose? Well, it's not for me to tell you which one you should choose, not at all. The real question is which one do Fast Track FBA users? Now, we didn't so much do the poll, we just asked the question and we had a lot of people respond. At the very, very top came out that a lot of people were using the new Seller Toolkit beta test. They were on that. Now, I will say a lot of the users within my group, they will try new software, which is great and we really enjoy it, but they were getting really, really good results from that. So number one, interesting enough, came out Seller Toolkit. They were trying the beta test and they were getting some really fantastic results. Now, interesting enough, the one thing which I will say is that shortly after that came Profit Protector Pro and then Repricer Express. Now, the one thing which I'll say is that I myself use Repricer Express. Why? I really enjoy automations. I have so many SKUs I'm doing right now, probably say 70K, and I just find that one rule isn't enough. I need multiple rules. I need to change between rules to support my business because I'm trying to be efficient, and automations really, really help me in that. So that's why I use Repricer Express, but it's not to say it's the best one or the one that you should use. A lot of other Fast Track FBA members are using 2 other bits of software that obviously you can consider as well. Now, top question for you, what repricing software do you use? I'm really interested to know. And hey, drop it down below. Let me know in the comments. Maybe there's something that I haven't heard of. I'd love to know that. Drop it in the comments down below. And obviously I would love to see that. I get back to anything, or maybe you've got a question, I'll let you know my thoughts on that as well. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, smash it in fact, and hey, hit the subscribe button if you want to see more content like this. What I'm going to do around here is leave a video for you guys about price wars, how to manage your prices during a price war, and some top tips that are going to help make you more profits during those times. And maybe your competition have got a repricer as well and you're going down, down, down. So watch that. From me, Thomas Parkinson, thank you very much.